The only 5 movements you truly need to build a massive, powerful chest. When it comes to creating an impressive physique, the chest ranks among the most striking muscle groups. Alongside the abdominals, it dominates the entire front view of the body, shaping how balanced and strong someone appears at first glance. A chest that is broad, well-developed, and muscular instantly communicates strength, vitality, and confidence. It creates a sense of proportion that enhances the shoulders, arms, and waistline. On the other hand, a flat or underdeveloped chest can make the body look incomplete, giving the impression of weakness or imbalance, no matter how toned the rest of the body might be. This imbalance happens most often because people fail to train the chest in a way that truly addresses all of its portions. Instead of approaching it as a complex muscle that requires strategic targeting, many lifters fall into the trap of doing the same basic pressing movements over and over, leaving parts of the chest neglected. The result is a torso that lacks harmony and definition, which ultimately takes away from the overall aesthetic. That's exactly why, in today's breakdown, I'll show you 5 essential chest exercises. Each one is carefully selected to hit different regions of the chest while also correcting common training mistakes. With these, you'll learn proper execution, discover how to avoid the most frequent errors, and ensure that every single fiber of your chest is being stimulated for maximum growth and a commanding appearance. But before diving into the first exercise, we need to address the most frequent mistake that keeps people from ever achieving a complete chest. It isn't simply poor form, though that does play a role. The real problem lies in the widespread belief that every chest exercise works the muscle as a whole in the exact same way. In reality, the chest is divided into 3 distinct portions: the upper, the middle, and the lower. Each portion contributes differently to the look and functionality of your torso. Neglecting one of these areas can create a visible imbalance, not to mention potential joint discomfort from overloading one section while leaving the others underdeveloped. This is why you often see people performing endless sets of the same bench press variation or sticking only to standard push-ups. What they don't realize is that, despite working hard, they are repeatedly stimulating the same fibers while ignoring others. That kind of partial training can deliver some muscle growth, but it will never give you the complete, 3-dimensional chest that makes the physique stand out. For that, you need to understand how angles and body positioning completely change which chest fibers are activated. Once you grasp that, every rep you perform becomes more intentional and far more effective. With that foundation in mind, let's move on to the first key movement, the decline push-up. If you've always felt that the top of your chest lags behind the rest, this exercise can completely transform your training results. To perform the decline push-up, start by placing your feet on a stable surface, such as a bench, step, or platform, while keeping your hands on the ground at about shoulder width, or slightly wider if that feels more natural. Make sure your body stays aligned. Don't let your hips sag or your lower back arch excessively. This downward angle shifts the workload onto the upper chest fibers, maximizing their recruitment. As you lower yourself, move slowly and under control, really focusing on the stretch in your chest. Then push yourself back up until your arms are nearly straight, but avoid locking out at the top. This keeps constant tension on the muscle. Many people dismiss push-up variations as too simple compared to heavy barbell or machine work. But the truth is, these bodyweight movements can rival or even surpass them when executed correctly, particularly for those who want both strength and functionality. One last but crucial note: pay close attention to your elbow positioning. Letting your elbows flare out too wide can place unnecessary stress on the shoulders, while tucking them in too close to your torso will shift much of the work to the triceps and front delts. The sweet spot is a moderate angle that allows the chest to remain the prime mover of the exercise. When done correctly, the decline push-up is not just a warm-up or filler, it's a foundational exercise for sculpting the upper chest. If you're looking to push the decline push-up to the next level, there are several ways to make it more demanding. For instance, you could place your hands on an unstable surface, like a pair of gymnastic rings, suspension straps, or even a stability ball. Your breathing should also be coordinated with each rep to maximize effectiveness. Inhale deeply as you lower yourself toward the ground, then exhale as you drive your body back up. This rhythm not only supports core stability, but also ensures proper oxygen delivery to your working muscles. At the same time, keep your head in line with your spine. Don't let your chin drop forward or tilt upward excessively. Both mistakes can create unnecessary strain in your neck and shoulders while decreasing the activation of the upper chest. Done carelessly, decline push-ups shift stress away from where you want it and increase the risk of discomfort. Done correctly, however, they're a powerhouse movement for sculpting the upper torso. Exercise 2, Incline Dumbbell Bench Press. Staying with the upper chest focus, the Incline Dumbbell Bench Press is a time-tested classic. This movement is a favorite among lifters who want to add size, strength, and crisp definition to the top portion of the chest. Using dumbbells instead of a barbell comes with a host of advantages. First, dumbbells allow a freer and more natural range of motion, letting you adjust hand and elbow positions to match your body's structure, something that greatly reduces the chance of shoulder or elbow strain. Second, each arm must work independently, which helps correct strength imbalances and ensures symmetrical development. Another huge benefit of this exercise is versatility. You can slightly adjust the bench angle to experiment with different inclines, typically anywhere between 30 degrees and 45 degrees. Small changes in angle often create noticeable differences in how the upper chest is recruited. To set up, adjust the bench to the desired incline, then sit with both feet planted firmly on the floor. A solid base is critical for stabilizing the torso during the press. Lie back slowly while bringing the dumbbells to chest height, keeping your palms facing forward or angled slightly inward if that feels more natural for your wrists. As you press the dumbbells upward, guide them toward the midline without letting them touch or crash together. Keep your shoulders pinned back and down, avoiding the mistake of shrugging them toward your ears, which overloads the traps. During the lowering phase, resist the temptation to let gravity take over. Instead, control the descent, allowing a deep stretch through the upper chest fibers. Don't excessively arch your lower back to cheat the weight up. This common mistake shifts tension away from the chest and onto the spine. Keep your core engaged, maintain spinal stability, and focus all effort on the chest muscles. A good guideline is to lower the dumbbells slowly for about 2 to 3 seconds, the eccentric phase, and then press them up in a controlled 1 to 2 seconds, the concentric phase. This tempo maximizes time under tension, which is crucial for muscle growth. If you find yourself struggling to maintain this form, lighten the load. Reducing the weight is not a setback, it's a smart choice to make sure the right muscles are doing the work. Form and tension always come before ego lifting. Pay close attention to your elbow position too. Letting them flare out too far, close to a 90-degree angle relative to your torso, puts your shoulder joints in a vulnerable position. On the other hand, tucking them too tightly transfers much of the workload to your triceps, reducing chest activation. Aim for a balanced angle that allows the pecs to stay engaged while minimizing joint stress. Finally, keep your wrists neutral and aligned with your elbows. Avoid bending or cocking them backward, as this compromises stability and can cause strain. Before we move to the next exercise, take a moment to subscribe to the channel. Ongoing access to correct, science-based fitness information is the difference between years of wasted effort and consistent, meaningful progress in your training journey. Exercise 3, High Pulley Crossover. Now we shift our attention to the lower chest. The high pulley crossover is a classic isolation exercise that carves detail and shape into the bottom portion of the chest. This movement emphasizes the lower lines of the pecs, enhancing the outline that creates that sharp aesthetic contour along the base of the ribcage and thorax. It's a powerful finisher for giving your chest a fuller, more complete look. This movement, when performed with precision, is excellent for carving out that sought-after lower chest line. It's a feature highly admired not only in bodybuilding competitions, but also in everyday fitness aesthetics.
A well-developed lower chest doesn't just look impressive, it ties the entire front of the torso together, creating a smooth and balanced transition between the pecs and the abdominals. Without it, the chest can look incomplete, as though the top and middle portions are separated from the core. With it, however, the physique takes on a fuller and more cohesive appearance. Unfortunately, many people neglect this region when their routines revolve only around bench presses and push-ups, which is why this exercise becomes such a valuable addition. To execute the high pulley crossover, begin by setting the pulleys at a point slightly above shoulder level. Grasp one handle in each hand and step into the center position. From here, take a few steps forward until you feel tension in the cables. This pre-stretch ensures resistance throughout the entire range of motion. Stagger your stance by placing one foot in front of the other. This creates a stable base and helps you stay grounded throughout the exercise. Lean your torso forward slightly, but keep your spine neutral. Avoid rounding your back excessively. The movement begins as you draw the handles downward and inward, aiming to bring your hands together in front of your hips. This specific angle intensely activates the lower chest, as the action combines two motions: horizontal adduction, bringing the arms inward, and shoulder depression, driving them down. Together, they directly target the fibers along the base of the chest. On the return phase, control is everything. Don't allow the weights to pull your arms back too quickly. This robs you of time under tension and reduces the hypertrophy stimulus. Maintain a soft bend in the elbows throughout the motion. Keeping the arms completely straight risks shifting tension to the biceps or stressing the joints. On the flip side, bending the elbows too much makes the exercise resemble a press, which reduces chest isolation. The key is to keep just enough flexion to stay safe while ensuring the chest remains the prime mover. As you bring the handles back together, focus on squeezing the chest tightly at the peak contraction. Visualizing the chest fibers shortening helps you maximize the effectiveness of each rep. One of the most common mistakes here is using a weight that is simply too heavy. This usually leads to compensations like swinging the torso, jerking the arms, or reducing the range of motion.
Exercise 4. Pullover. Now we move to another highly versatile exercise, the pullover. This movement is unique because it can emphasize either the chest or the back, depending on how it's performed. With slight adjustments in technique, we can place the emphasis directly on the lower portion of the chest, making it a perfect complement to the crossover. To perform the pullover in its traditional form, start by lying on a flat bench with your upper back and shoulder blades fully supported. Hold a single dumbbell with both hands, either by forming a triangle grip with your palms against the base of the weight or by grasping the dumbbell bar with a neutral grip. Keep your elbows slightly bent, not rigidly locked, but also not collapsing inward. From here, slowly lower the dumbbell in an arc behind your head, stretching the chest as the weight moves downward. Only go as far as your mobility allows comfortably. Never force the range to the point of pain in your shoulders or lower back. As you return the dumbbell forward, actively contract your chest muscles to drive the weight back to its starting position above the chest. Avoid turning the movement into a back-dominant pull. Don't rely on momentum or swing the arms. A useful mental cue is to imagine that the chest itself is pushing the dumbbell upward, especially the lower portion of the pecs. This helps keep the latissimus dorsi from taking over. Breathing plays a key role in control. Inhale deeply as you lower the weight behind you, expanding your ribcage and stretching the chest fibers. Then exhale fully as you bring the dumbbell forward, maintaining stability in your core and focus on the pecs. Some lifters prefer to perform the pullover across the bench rather than along it. In this variation, only the upper back and shoulders rest on the bench, while the hips drop lower, creating more freedom of movement for the arms.
Exercise 5. Dumbbell fly. The last exercise on our list is the dumbbell fly, which specifically targets the middle portion of the chest. This central area is crucial for creating thickness and fullness across the pecs. It's the section that eliminates the appearance of a hollow or gap between the two sides of the chest, giving the torso a dense, balanced look. Think of it as the midpoint that connects the upper and lower portions, rounding out the overall shape. Developing this part of the chest adds both volume and cohesion, making the chest appear powerful from all angles. To perform the dumbbell fly, start by lying flat on a bench with a dumbbell in each hand. Extend your arms above the chest with a slight bend in your elbows. This protects the joints and ensures the chest remains the prime mover. From here, slowly open your arms out to the sides in a wide arc, as though you were giving a broad embrace. As the dumbbells lower, the chest fibers stretch, especially those in the middle that contribute to central thickness. Lower the weights until you feel a deep but comfortable stretch, never to the point of sharp shoulder pain. Then, with control, bring the dumbbells back up to the starting position over your chest. Avoid letting them crash together at the top. Instead, stop just short of contact to keep continuous tension on the muscle. During the movement, it's vital to keep your shoulder blades anchored to the bench. Don't allow them to lift, and avoid excessively arching your lower back in search of more range of motion. Overarching not only reduces chest isolation, but also increases stress on the spine. Another detail is elbow positioning. If your elbows flare out too wide, the shoulders bear too much load. If they're too tucked in, the motion becomes more like a press than a fly. The correct angle is one where the chest clearly feels like it's doing the majority of the work. For beginners or those with a history of shoulder problems, it may be wise to start with the machine version of the fly. Machines provide a guided path of motion, allowing you to develop proper awareness of how the chest should contract. Once you've built that foundation, transitioning to dumbbells offers a freer and more natural range of motion. Now that you've seen all 5 exercises targeting the upper, lower, and middle portions, you understand what it takes to build a truly complete chest. By combining these movements, you avoid the imbalances, weak points, and aesthetic gaps that frustrate so many people who train. You now know not only which exercises to do, but also how to perform them correctly for maximum effect. And if you enjoyed this chest workout and want to go beyond building balanced muscle across your entire body, make sure to check out the video that's appearing on your screen right now. In it, we break down the most effective exercise for every major muscle group, giving you the tools to create a complete, well-proportioned physique. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.